Hello everyone, welcome back to Joy and Victoria Dramas. Today we're taking an honest and analytical look at the previews for Overdo episodes 25 and 26. With only a few episodes left, the drama is clearly pushing toward its climax. The emotional stakes are high, secrets continue to unfold, and relationships are being tested like never before. However, these previews also highlight one of the biggest questions surrounding Overdo. Can the writers stick the landing, or are they introducing one dramatic twist too many? As always, this review is based solely on the previews, so these are my observations and predictions before the full episodes air. Let's begin with episode 25. The preview immediately focuses on Murong Qingyi's emotional state. He's no longer simply reacting to events. He's confronting the consequences of every decision that's brought him to this point. His scenes carry a quiet sense of regret rather than explosive anger, and I think that's one of the preview's biggest strengths. Instead of relying on action, episode 25 appears to slow the story down and let the emotional weight settle. That's something I've wanted Overdo to do for quite some time. But here's where I think the preview raises a concern. The series has spent several episodes separating its main couple through misunderstandings, sacrifices, and timing. While each obstacle has made sense on its own, together they've started to feel repetitive. At some point, viewers stop asking, will they reunite, and begin asking, what's going to keep them apart this time? If episode 25 is simply another delay before the inevitable reunion, the emotional impact could be weaker than the writers intend. On the other hand, if these quieter scenes finally allow both characters to confront their mistakes honestly, then this episode could provide the emotional payoff the series has been building toward. My preview rating for episode 25 is 8.7 out of 10. The emotional tone feels mature, but it now depends on meaningful character conversations rather than another last-minute twist. Now let's move on to episode 26. This preview introduces what may become one of the most controversial story developments in the series. Murong Qingyi appears to discover the truth about Lian's identity, yet the preview also suggests he is preparing to marry someone else. It's an effective cliffhanger because it immediately creates confusion, but it's also where I think viewers should be careful not to jump to conclusions. Overdo has developed a habit of editing its previews to make situations appear more straightforward than they actually are. We've seen scenes presented as betrayals before, only for the full episode to reveal hidden motives or missing context. So while this apparent marriage is certainly shocking, I'm not convinced the preview is telling the whole story. That said, this also exposes a recurring weakness in the drama. The writers frequently rely on misunderstandings as their primary source of tension. Misunderstandings can be powerful when used sparingly, but when they become the default storytelling device, audiences begin to anticipate the reversal before it even happens. What gives me hope is that episode 26 seems to place greater emphasis on hidden truths than simple misunderstandings. If Murong Qingyi's decisions are driven by sacrifice rather than poor communication, the story could regain some of the emotional credibility it has occasionally lost. My preview rating for episode 26 is 8.9 out of 10. The trailer raises compelling questions, but the full episode must provide satisfying answers instead of another temporary shock. Looking at these previews together, I think Overdo is trying to transition from dramatic spectacle to emotional resolution. That's exactly what a final arc should do. The performances continue to be one of the drama's strongest assets, especially when the story allows quieter emotional moments to take center stage. However, the writing still faces its biggest challenge, proving that these twists are building toward genuine character growth rather than simply extending the drama. If the writers focus on honest conversations, earned resolutions, and emotional consequences, these final episodes could significantly improve how viewers remember the series. But if they continue to rely on fake-outs and prolonged misunderstandings, the ending may struggle to satisfy an audience that's invested in these characters. So, what do you think? Is Murong Qingyi really choosing another woman, or is the preview deliberately misleading us? And do you think Overdo is finally preparing a satisfying conclusion, or are the writers still leaning too heavily on familiar twists? Share your thoughts in the comments, because I'd love to hear your theories. If you enjoyed this balanced review, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Joy and Victoria Dramas, and turn on the notification bell for more honest Chinese drama reviews, previews, and thoughtful analysis. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.